Okay, so Mr. Big by Free. This is off the Fire and Water album, 1970. And the reason I'm doing this tutorial, and this tutorial won't take long because it's not a complicated song, right? But the reason I'm doing it is I was watching this movie the other day called Demolition with Jake Gyllenhaal. And there's a scene in there where he's kind of hanging out with his sort of girlfriend's 15-year-old kid, right? He's a bit of a free spirit. And he looks out the window and the kid's in the garage, right, playing drums to this track, and it's this song, right, Mr. Big, and it's just awesome. It's a great scene, and Jake Gyllenhaal is like, his character is really kind of repressed, and he's sort of discovering his like inner sort of defiant rock sort of personality. Anyways, it's a great scene. The movie's a little quirky. It's probably not for everybody, but it's worth seeing just for that scene because it's just awesome. So that sort of inspired me to do this song because you forget how good some of these old songs are, right? And that movie was directed by a guy called John Mark Valet, and he used the Sunderland 1970 live version of Mr. Big. And it was interesting because I looked him up, and he was born in 1963, so he was only 7 years old when Free were playing this song live, right? So just interesting, like great rock music. Just it doesn't matter what generation; it's always good, right? So and also before I get on with this, the bass player Andy Fraser. And this song is really all about the bass. And I played the bass on my demo, and I learned not all, but some of his licks. And just killer. I mean, what a great bass player. And the crazy thing is, he was only 18 when they recorded this album. And, it's crazy how young and how good he was. Amazing. 18 years old, great bass player. And, of course, Paul Kossoff on guitar, right? The ultimate minimalist guitar player. And this song is a perfect example of how, I've said this before in other videos, like it doesn't have to be complicated to be good, right? And this is so simple, but it's so good, and it's got such attitude. And Paul Rodgers singing is just absolutely awesome. Okay, so anyways, enough blabbering on here. Let's get on with it. It's just a hammer on from open A to A2. And then you hit the open E. While you want that B note to ring. So you got that 2-note chord, right? And then we mute. And the muting in the song is really important because it gives space to the other instruments, right? So we don't want to go. Right? We want to go. And this chord, this is an E7 sharp 9, okay? So you've got your E, and you add the 7th. But you also grab that note, the E3, the G note, which is your sharp 9, right? So it's an E7 sharp 9. And a lot of people will probably recognize that chord more in this shape, like the Jimi Hendrix chord, right? But if you just listen to the tone of this, it's a little brighter down here, and I guess who knows, that's why Paul Kossoff decided to play it down there, okay? So we've got and that mute is in time, right? Da 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 mute bang, da da mute bang, right? And mute that too, right? So everything's nice and staccato and short. Okay, so it goes on like that, and every now and then he'll hit that twice, right? Okay, and it goes on, and then we get into the chorus eventually, and the chorus is like this. Okay, so we're just heading up to this B7. The little finger here on B10. Okay, and sometimes, like, On the album version and some other live versions, you'll see him going, just playing that instead of the E7 sharp 9, he'll just play a straight E with that open B and open E string. And there too on the B, same fingering with that open E to give you that suspension. So okay, but in this version it's that B7, bar chord B7. And then it's like a slide down and a slide up to this A. And then we just do that rock and roll thing, you know. And then we're back into that. And then the only other part is the ending, which is, it's just like a D to an E. D to an E. It goes over and over, and Kossoff just jams out there, right? It eventually gets back into the chorus, and the song ends. Anyways, that's about it for this one. A great song, you know, just love it. And if you get a chance, just catch that movie, because like I'm saying, it's worth seeing the movie just for that scene, because there's something about movies, you know, when music is in movies, it always seems so much more powerful. And when this scene comes along, it's like, yes, it's just so good, you know. And it's kind of neat that a 15-year-old kid is turning on Jake Gyllenhaal, who's, I guess he's like 40 or so in the movie, right, to Free. So anyways, hope you get something out of this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed playing the song, and talk to you next time.